Race that brings the curtain down on the Dublin Racing Festival is a €100,000 mayor's bumper. Fran Berry, you wanted to start here with number 14.
Do indeed, yeah, Nick. We haven't seen this filly by a course walk in the park. She's a 5-year-old now. Pink in the park, very, very impressive winning at Listowel. William Mullins won this race last year at Grangy. It has 6 runners in it, but this is very much a pick of them based on her home reputation. Was a summer type bumper at the Listowel Festival, good ground, but she was ultra impressive the way she quickened it in the last furlong.
Filly behind is interesting. 11, Lily de Burley for the Crawfords, for the Menier and Swed team.
Yes, and an interesting contender today. The horse run well in the bumper yesterday, of course, third behind the wide margin winner, Facile Vega, and the double green colours of Meniers again. Won well at Perth, more on here today, but is open to further improvement.
I like this one, 5. This is another walk in the park trained by Mullins. Well bred too, Eva Grace.
Yes, yeah, and she could be the each way play, Nick, because she won extremely well in Thurles when looking still green under pressure. Should improve quite a bit for that. She is currently a 17-2 chance and could be the each way value if you want to take on a favourite.
Right, next, right in front of us now, number 1, High Stranger, filly owned by Brian Gleeson, ridden by his son John.
Yes, and out of a former Eber winner, of course, Santa, trained by Willie Mullins, won under Gary Carroll back in the day. She has bred little of note to date, but this filly has been progressive last summer. A lot more on here, but a nice ride for a promising rider.
Okay, if we just ease back round to our left, we'll pick up number 6, Flemoncello, right in front of us now, another one of the Mullins group.
Yes, and Flemoncello has ran well at Christmas to a point. Excuse me, number 6, Flemoncello, disappointing at Christmas, and also when travelling well at Navan, took an unlucky fall under Patrick Mullins. More on here, needs to step it up. Young rider Elliot Ogren is an experienced amateur from Sweden and has a good ride here today to pick up.
Here's an interesting runner right in front of us now. This is 16 down the bottom, the newcomer by Australia, Mrs. Grimley.
Yes, Jessica Harrington just touched off at Autumn Evening in the previous race in the colours of Mr. Patrick Cooper by Australia. Very good flat pedigree, but out of a Monson mare, obviously it's taken time to come to hand. And interesting to picture in here today in great company. One to watch.
Okay, well, there's a select handful for you ahead of the mayor's bumper.
Yeah, we've got to see a couple of the fancied runners there with the guys. That's Montiep there, who did get the head in front last time, but a big prize set to do it again. And Willie Mullins has got 6 in the race, but the one that they're favouring is this Pink in the Park at 6-5.
Certainly is, although that 6-5 isn't the most generous quote if you look at the exchanges, because they've got it nearer 13-8 and drifting. It's been up and down in the market ever since, always been clear favourites, but we've got a second favourite from Gordon Elliott, Harmonia Maker, and they're the only 2 on exchanges that are in single figures, so it might not be quite as competitive as you might have expected a field this size with lots of winners in it, but yeah, the bookmakers are claiming that there's going to be huge payouts if this favourite goes in, quoting 7-figure payouts. So I know we're sweating a bit in the studio as well.
We are, but we've been sweating for them all, haven't we? Right, shall we go back to the guys for the final race? Looking forward to this, the mayor's bumper. Over to you, Ruby and Gary.
Many thanks, Rachel. Yes, horses just gathering down at the start for the 15th and final event of the weekend. Pink in the Park. Strong favourite at 6-5. Ruby, it feels like a long time ago now, but you and I were working together when she made a winning debut at the Listowel Festival back in late September and produced, I think, on the track that day what you had been seeing from her at home in the run-up to the race. How's she been in the intervening period? Was it always the plan to give her a good break after that?
Yeah, it was. Willie was fairly adamant when she won in Listowel that she would go Dublin Racing Festival next for this particular race. She's in great form. Patrick has opted to ride her. Obviously, she's changed ownership since that day. She ran in Jackie's colours and that Jackie Mullins' colours on that occasion. She's now owned by the Roaring Waters Syndicate. There's Eva Grace on the way to post, another one of Willie's, the Mount of Jodie Townend. But look, Pink in the Park, she's by the all-conquering walk in the park, who seems to be able to do nothing wrong. Facile Vega yesterday. Can it be this mare today?
Family the Mullinses know very well indeed. Obviously, Pink Hat the Dam was fair mare herself, so the gathering down at the start there. The second favourite from Gordon Elliott's yard is Harmonia Maker, who was thrown into the deep end for a debut in a listed bumper at Navan back in November and ran very well that day to finish second to Noel Meads, the Model Kingdom, and then won in a canter at Punchestown on New Year's Eve under Jamie Codd. Stable also got the impressive Ferry House winner Liberty Dance in there as well. But there's any number in this, Ruby. It's a bit like the bumper yesterday, who've looked good winning their bumpers and could step forward. I guess, though, maybe the feeling is that Pink in the Park, while she's very exciting, she's got a little bit to prove maybe before she's another Vassar Vega.
She has, and it was good to yield in ground, Gary, in the stall in September, which is the end of the summer. And I know it's the yielding the soft today, but during February it's different ground. She has to prove she handles this ground. But you know, I look, if you were looking at one maybe at a better price, probably Ava Grace looks to have improved from her win in Thurles in December when she beat Scarlet Witch. She seems to come forward at home, and at 8-1 she's a bit of value probably.
Right then, they are on the way into the tape. Looks as though we'll be away pretty promptly for the final event, the Coolmore National Hunsars Santiago Irish EBF Mares Bumper. Jerry Hannon for the final time at the Dublin Racing Festival.
White flag is raised. Thereof, in the very last one, the Coolmore National Hunsars Santiago Irish EBF Mares INH Bumper. It's a grade 2 as they make their way on up the straight. And the first to show in front is Montiep, leading a couple of lengths. In the centre is Bellatior, within the stripes Kilbunny Pontic. Ridden handily is Pink in the Park in the red and white, and on the rail in the white cap is Flemoncello with Ashrow Diamond in between stable companions, then Harmonium Maker. And they're followed by Mrs. Grimley and Battling Bessie and Liberty Dance, the white cap. Knockinard Lady next in the dark blue hat, who's followed by Ava Grace, and next on the inside as they make the bend, Nikini. A break of 2 to 3 lengths to High Stranger and Lily de Burley and Toshi Tassie, the back marker. 1.5 miles to go, heading away from the stands, and the leader is Montiep by 2.5 to 3 lengths from Bellatior and Kilbunny Pontic. Harmonium Maker makes ground up in between both Flemoncello and Pink in the Park, and then Ashrow Diamond and Mrs. Grimley. Battling Bessie next with Knockinard Lady and then Liberty Dance. They're followed to the turn by Ava Grace and High Strangers on the inside of Nikini as they swing into the back straight towards the 10 furlong point. And it's Montiep continuing to show the way. Leads 2.5 lengths. Bellatior second, and then Harmonium Maker disputing third place with Flemoncello the rail. Then Kilbunny Pontic and Pink in the Park, who's followed by Ashrow Diamond. Mrs. Grimley's on the inside of Battling Bessie as they head down the back to the halfway stage. Knockinard Ladies improved on the outside. Then Liberty Dance racing up sides. Ava Grace, Nikini next with High Stranger. Toshi Tassie relegates Lily de Burley to be the back marker. Coming up to the halfway point in the Coolmore National Hunsars Santiago Irish EBF Mares INH Grade 2 bumper. And it's Montiep with Harmonium Maker going up to dispute the lead. And then Bellatior and Flemoncello and Pink in the Park, and Knockinard Ladies on the outside. Then Kilbunny Pontic and Mrs. Grimley. Ashrow Diamond next with Battling Bessie, and Ava Grace being followed by Liberty Dance. They're racing towards the 6.5 furlong point, and Harmonium Maker picks it up for Jamie Codd. Heads Montiep and Mikey McGuan, a break of 3 lengths to Bellatior. Barry O'Neill on the outside of Flemoncello, who's being followed by Kilbunny Pontic, and Pink in the Park next, and Knockinard Ladies on the outside. Towards the inner is Mrs. Grimley, about to exit the back straight. 5 furlongs to go, and it's Harmonium Maker in front, and presses ahead by 2 lengths to Montiep, Flemoncello and Bellatior. Pink in the Park next with Kilbunny Pontic and Ashrow Diamond. Ava Grace has made some ground, then Battling Bessie and Mrs. Grimley. Lily de Burley and Nikini next with Liberty Dance. Tightening up, heading inside the concluding half mile, and it's Harmonium Maker by 1/2 length to Flemoncello, another 1/2 length back to Bellatior. Just in behind them, Ava Grace with Pink in the Park poised. Ashrow Diamond, Battling Bessie is trying to come into it, racing on the approach to the straight with 3 furlongs to run. It's Harmonium Maker in front, Flemoncello. Ava Grace, Battling Bessie makes serious ground on the outside of Pink in the Park, and then Liberty Dance as they swing into the straight, just over 2 furlongs to go, and Battling Battling Bessie is produced to pick it up from Ashrow Diamond. Pink in the Park makes ground on the far side. And then Liberty Dance, Harmonium Makers drop right back. Nikini stays on, racing to the final furlong. Battling Bessie is battling it out with Pink in the Park and Ashrow Diamond. Liberty Dance next, then Lily de Burley and Nikini racing inside the final furlong. In a rousing finale, it's Battling Bessie. From on the outside is Ashrow Diamond. Lily de Burley from way off the pace with Pink in the Park on the rail. And then Liberty Dance, they're running up towards the finish. Annie 1 of 5. Battling Bessie, Lily de Burley and Liberty Dance. What a finish. And then Ashrow Diamond and Pink in the Park. And after them was Nikini. The best finish saved to last.
You're not wrong, Jerry. That was the finish of the weekend, wasn't it? That was almost reminiscent of that Tidal Bay win in the Lexus all those years ago, Ruby. And I think, has Lily de Burley for Simon Munir and Isaac Swade just poked through?
Ben Crawford, nose up, nose down. Gary, you're the commentator.
That's what I'd be thinking at this stage.
And
that was what I thought at the time as well. You did as well.
Harmonium Maker got running in the back straight and really opened this race up. But the winner, I think, was beside Tashi, crossing the road with 7 furlongs to run, completely out the back of the race. It'll be interesting to see what happens. And it all got a bit tight down the straight as well. On that shot, Gary, if that's the line, it does look like the Munir Suede horse is up.
5 of them covered by what, half a length or so? Favourite looks to have finished 5th in the end, maybe Pink in the Park. Stablemate Astro Diamond was a big player in that finish as well. Battling Bessie got to the front, and I thought she was going to hold them all off at one stage. And the other one, of course, was Lisa O'Neill, our Racing TV colleague, who got a great tune out of Liberty Dance on the inside. And in the end, that one has fared best of the Gordon Elliott's trio. But has Stuart Crawford pulled a rabbit out of the hat here with Lily de Burley? Obviously, the judge got plenty to sort out here.
There is silence in Leopardstown, Gary.
And
for the first time all weekend.
Hopefully the mirror is in operation here, because it'll be needed. We can't see Liberty Dance's nose on the far side as we look from the outside of the track, but here it comes.
11-3.
It is Lily de Burley who's won it from Battling Bessie in second and Liberty Dance in third. 11-3-10. Astro Diamond fourth, and Pink in the Park was 5th.
13 from fourth.
A lot to pick the bones out of there, Ruby. And
even the result, Gary, I'd say I have to call it wrong. Make sure you check that.
We know what's won it anyway. It's the horse right in the middle, and Ben Crawford, he didn't look in any doubt, Ruby, punching the air and everything.
That's confidence for you. Mikel Barcelona, like.
That was a fair call. And you can just see the winner got a bump there, just clashed with Harmonium Maker, who was dropping back at that stage, having got to the front down the back. And Battling Bessie is the one who I feel a little bit sorry for, Ruby, because I did think she was going to hold on, and just in the end couldn't quite fend them off.
Yeah, Pink in the Park goes across onto the rail here, which means Lisa O'Neill has to switch as well and gets another rally then out of Liberty Dance. Battling 40-1, beats a 33-1 shot and a 14-1 shot.
Pretty much the opposite of the day we've had up to this point.
Short head, half a length and a neck.
What a finish it was. Let's pick up the winner for you here. Still with plenty of horses in front of her at this stage, but she had ticked off a few, and it was getting a bit tight, wasn't it? One or two of them dropping back.
It does drop back. Ava Grace had gotten into contention for Jodie Townend in the white cap. She's about to fade. Ben Crawford switches in behind her. Lisa O'Neill is down the inside of Liberty Dance looking for an out, but Patrick Mullins moves in here now and keeps that pretty tight. I thought it did initially. She gets a great run through behind Elliot Olgan, who leaves a gap for Lisa on the inside. She gets a great run through there. Patrick comes, and when you think on Pink in the Park she's going to pick up and go and win, Harmonia Maker's over raced and she's starting to fade, and you did think Battling Bessie here looked like she was going to tough it out.
Yes, Astro Diamond was one who had actually met a bit of traffic around that home turn there, just had to fight for position and has done her level best to get past Battling Bessie. But Peter Fahey's mare, under a really strong drive from Derek O'Connor, was answering every call, and it's only when you look a little bit further back, the two horses coming through between them, Ruby, they burst through, and in the end.
Lunge late on the line.
I think Battling Bessie might have even got back level just after the line, but that's the point where it matters, and it's quite a picture, isn't it? Fair play to our winner, who had just the one win in a Perth bumper last July. To her credit, Stuart Crawford, as I say, has pulled a bit of a rabbit out of the hat here, Rachel, in our final event. Lily de Burley wins an absolute thriller.
It was an absolute cracker, wasn't it? And congratulations to both of them. Lily de Burley for the Crawfords, thumbs up. There was celebrations with nostrils between them. He knew.
Well, he certainly knew.
He was the only one, I think.
I don't think I've ever seen someone celebrate a photo so tight with so many in contention, but that's confidence for you.
40-1, not quite how the day went for most of the races, but it was
always one that rescues the bookies, isn't it?
It was a nice performance and
moan.
Fun race to watch with Battling Bessie 33-1, Liberty Dance 14-1, and Pink in the Park at 5-4 was out of the mix, but not by far.